Hi, welcome. I'm WA. I'm showcasing my new Davinci Watercolor palette here. Well, new setup, old paints. The first color being swatched is Perylene Green, PBK 31. The second green on my palette is Phthalo Green PG7. PG7 is more of a bluish green and then too bright and unnatural, but when you mix them with other colors, they create great neutrals. For example, my favorite neutral is Phthalo Green with the Davinci Red. My third and final green is Green Gold PY 129, which is a favorite of mine to mix greens with the blues. For these swatches, I'm going back after they've dried and adding a second layer to see the true mass tone of the color. Although I am very familiar with these colors and how they work and their properties, I also wanted to share with you my own swatch cards. And maybe you can take inspiration from the layout. The first up is Phthalo Green. You can see how many layers or how many tones you can get with this color, and you can see the opacity, which it's pretty transparent and kind of staining. The Phthalo Green, you can also see how much movement they have on water. With the Green Gold, you can get a lot of tonal values from this golden yellow to this more of a, I don't want to say brown, but brownish green. And these are my only 3 greens on my palette. Moving on to the blues of my palette is Cobalt Turquoise PB36. I'll keep showing you my swatch cards after each color so that you can get a bit of more detail on each of them. One of my favorite blues is next, Phthalo Turquoise, which is PB16, very similar to the PB15, but a bit more green tinted. Although I've realized that the lighting makes this color look a bit darker on video than in real life, Davinci's PB16 is darker than a few other brands. Cerulean Blue PB36. This is one of my favorite ultramarine blues. It's ultramarine green shade PB29. Ultramarine comes in three denominations: the green shade, the red shade, and a neutral blue. And the green shade is my favorite. To me personally, the green shade is a lot brighter and clearer. I prefer it over the other versions of this blue. Moving on to my last blue is Indian Thorn Blue PB60. I have it written down as Indie Blue here because that's what it says on the Scratch Me journal palette that I got this color from. FYI. These are all of the blues on my palette. 5 blues should be enough. Moving on to my purples and pinks. First up, we have Mauve, PV19 and PV29. Personally, I would have had many more pinks and purples, but unfortunately, I couldn't fit them here. Maybe I'll switch my purples and pinks on my next round. But for now, this is what I've settled onto. The last of my pinks and violets is Red Rose Deep PV19. I only have 2 purples and pinks, Mauve and the Red Rose Deep. Going down to the second row, first is the Davinci Red PR254. And I think this is the only red color on my palette. Should be. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing how I can work with just one red. Quickly moving to my orange, Benzimida Orange Deep. Benzimidas Salon. What? Benzi Orange Deep PO36. The warm yellow on my palette is the Indian yellow, PO62 and PY97. For the cool yellow is Davinci Yellow, PY154. I have a cooler leaning yellow and a warmer leaning cool yellow. But the Davinci Yellow was somewhere smack dab in the middle, and that's what I went with for this palette. These four colors make up my yellows, oranges, and reds in this palette. Moving on to my personally favorite spectrum of my palette are my earths. Starting with Yellow Ochre PY43. I'll be honest with you, if left unchecked, I could easily make up half of my palette purely on earth colors. They're a bit of an obsession. It is what it is. Next to the Yellow Ochre between the Burnt Sienna Deep is Raw Sienna, which is somewhere in the middle between both of them, PBR7. Burnt Sienna Deep, PR101. Violet Oxide, PR101. The violet oxide is a lot like a caput mortem. It's a very pretty, granulating, purplinating brown. Well, violet. since it's in the name itself. And to the last color making up this palette is Raw Umber PBR 7. Here are all of my earth colors. I'm pretty happy with the selection based on what I had on hand. Now it's time to place these colors in their new home. Put them in the box, close the lid, and it's the perfect fit. I want to thank you for joining me, and until next time, take care, be safe, goodbye.